I see people are in there already. We haven't started yet. You're the early birds. As an extra bonus, if you come on early, you can watch Tommy drink coffee live. Welcome, everybody. We got about 4 minutes before we start. I'm not even sure if you can hear me, but I think it looks live. The chats are disabled because it's corporate Zoom. So thanks for joining us on this Saturday morning. I hope this guy knows what he's talking about. Cindy, I see you have your hand up. We can't, this is just me. There's no communication on this one because it's a corporate Zoom. If it was my personal one, we would be able to talk and ask questions and all that stuff. But you guys can't even see each other. You just get to look at me the whole time, a whole half an hour. 3 minutes away from starting, gang. We like to scroll through the names and see who's here. Who's not here. Minute and a half, gang. Minute and a half. We'll roll it up. Had some fun here today. Snowed at my house last night. Thought it was March. Just getting ready to take the cover off my pool up here in Connecticut. Guess that's not going to happen. You know what? This thing's been recording automatically. So it's been recording for 10 minutes. I wonder if I stop it and start it again. This time he thinks about it when he's in limbo. Nobody's going to want to watch that. Doing it. Stop recording. Yeah, it will. Out of heck with it. Everybody can forward past the boring stuff. And it looks like we're going to start in about 30 seconds. So I'll get the screen ready to go. All right, everybody, let's make it happen. Good Saturday morning to everybody, or afternoon, depending on where you are. If you're over in the UK, it's not morning anymore. My name is Tommy Wyatt. I'm an associate with the Super Patch Company, and boy, am I excited to spend some time with you and share some things that I've learned over the years. It's an awesome time for me to do a training because it was March 1st, 1998. That I joined network marketing for the first time 25 years and 1 week ago. Pretty cool stuff. So I've been around the block a little bit, and you know what? If you're on this Zoom, you're in the business already. So we're going to talk. We're friends. You know what? I'm not going to split any hairs with you here. I'm going to just tell you the truth, tell you like it is, and do it with the best of spirits in mind. Okay, if you don't like what I'm saying and you don't like some of the things I'm trying to teach you here, you don't have to listen to me if you don't want to. What could this guy know anyway? But there are definitely ways to build your business in a way that it's going to grow and become plentiful, and there's ways to do it that it'll just be slow and stagnate. But the good news is you own the business and you get to do it your way all the time. Nobody can tell you how to do it. You're the boss. Nobody can make you get up in the morning. Nobody can make you talk about the Super Patch if you don't want to. And you know, that's one of the best things about having your own network marketing business, but it's also one of the worst things because you're going to need somebody to be able to kick you in the butt if you want to make things happen. That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about getting to action and making things happen. And you know, you're logging into the Facebook group and you're seeing the leaderboard for the people winning points for the Cabo trip, and you're going, holy smokes, this guy Paul Austin has like over 1,000 points. How's he doing that? And activity. Paul wakes up and he does something every single minute of the day that revolves around his Super Patch business. And that's what happens. If you want to be up there in the upper echelon, that's what you have to do. You have to make it a part of your everyday. It doesn't have to be a full-time every day, but you want to do something every single day to build your business. Something, talk to somebody, create some curiosity somewhere, do something a little bit every single day. And the more you do, the greater your rewards will be. But you know what the best part is? Enjoy the process and enjoy the journey. Because, I'm the kind of guy where, I'm the king of fun. If it's not fun, you can count me out. So I'm going to hopefully be able to make it a little bit more fun for you if you're not having fun yet. But it's a process. It's something that you can learn. And as long as you don't make it like a job, and you don't make it like a chore, you're going to have a blast and you're going to have a successful time growing your business. Now, I've done trainings before, and I want to say this is important. I'm not going to go over all the same stuff that I go over all the time. All of these Saturday trainings are in your back office. So if you just go to your personal back office, you can see the recordings of all the trainings. And I've done, I don't know, I've done 4 or 5 different ones. And I repeat some of the things that are important, but I want to always kind of change it up, because why would I just keep doing the same thing over and over when you can just watch the video over and over, the old ones. So this list right here, screenshot this page if you have the ability to, because this is really all you need to know. This is how you build your business. This is it right here. Create your story. It starts there. What is your story? Hi, my name is Tommy. My friend Steve called me up and he told me about these patches that supposedly stick on your skin and they have no drugs or chemicals and they're going to fix whatever's wrong with me. And I rolled my eyes and said, yeah, sure. But I trust Steve. So I tried it, and lo and behold, it worked. And that's my story. For 7 months, I've been pain free. That's my story. That's the most important thing I have. You know how many times I tell that? Every time I talk about the business, every time I talk about the super patches, every time I talk about anything that has to do with this company, that's the first thing I talk about. It's my story. And you know what? You have a story that's unique to mine. Maybe it's similar, but we all have our own story. And it's important that all of us get that story and harness it and just have it in our pocket that you can tell it in an elevator. And we have now this Thursday night, I want to bring this up. We have this new Thursday night testimonial Zoom that we do. And we do it live in the testimonial Facebook group, with Paul Austin and Jennifer Bradshaw and myself. And what we do is we try to collect up people that want to just come on and tell their story. And it would be awesome if we'd have volunteers for that. People that want to condense it, a 2-minute story, just explaining like I just did. And that'll also give you practice in being able to tell your story to people, being natural, by the way, and make it real, be a real person, be authentic all the time. Next thing is set your business goals. Like I said at the onset, I'm not going to impose my goals on you. You know, my goals are I'd like to create, a 6-figure a year residual income. That means I have to work harder than somebody who just wants to make a $500 a month residual income. You can have that though. $500 a month residual income would be awesome, wouldn't it? For a lot of people, $500 a month would change your life. But you need to set your goal, because just, not having a goal is like shooting darts without a dartboard. Well, what's the point? You're just sticking holes in the wall. So set your goals. And, if you don't know how to get towards your goals, you can get in touch with leaders. Maybe your sponsor knows how to get to those goals. And if not, we have leaders in this company that can show you exactly how to get to those goals. We're going to go through a lot of that here today. The next thing you want to do on this list is plug in. Plugging in. That means be a part. You're plugged in right now. So I'm preaching to the choir on this one. You're this Saturday and you're here because you're plugged in. What's going to happen for you is you might glean some golden nuggets out of this training. You might find some things in here that change your business and your life forever. You might, okay? But even if you don't, here's what I can guarantee you. After this thing's over, you're still going to be thinking about your business, where somebody who's not on this right now will not be thinking about their business. They'll be thinking about their picnic or whatever it is they're doing on a Saturday. So being plugged in is being around the fire. It keeps your fire lit. Because again, you have to be able to motivate yourself personally in this business and be plugged in. The next thing you want to do, being plugged in, is you want to make sure you're in the Facebook private groups that we have. That's, you're going to get emails from corporate, but if you're in the Facebook group, you're going to see what's going on at all times from corporate. My Super Patch Business. You're in the business. You need to be in that group. You don't need to be a huge Facebook user. It doesn't even matter if you like Facebook, but if you don't have an account, set one up. And just go in there every day and just see what's going on. Go in there for 30 seconds, scroll through real quick, see what's going on, get out. But do it all the time. That's being plugged in. Tuesday night, there's an opportunity Zoom. If you have people that want to see the opportunity, invite them to be on there. Get on there yourself, because you know what you're going to do if you're on there, even without a guest. It's going to re-energize you. It's going to keep your fire burning. And the best thing about it for somebody who isn't naturally a presenter is you can let the pros present the business, and all your friend has to do is sit there and watch it with you. Let the system work for you. You don't have to learn how to do that. You don't have to run your own Zooms in this company, for goodness sake. We do it all for you. So be plugged in. Make a list. Make a list is next. I don't need a long training on teaching you how to make a list. You all have a smartphone by now. I bet if you go through it, you all have at least 100 names in it, right? Probably a lot more. If you're on Facebook, you probably have at least 100 friends in there, probably a lot more. My advice is take out a piece of paper and write them all down on the paper with a pen. Write them down. A written list is important. Then we invite people to take a look at what we have. Then we share the knowledge and the wisdom and the products. Then we follow up with those people. Then we sponsor those ones who are interested, and then rinse and repeat like your shampoo. Do it again and do it again and do it again. Now it looks easy, right? Maybe it looks easy, it says easy, but it does hard. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to focus today on the two that scare you the most. Invite and share. Okay, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where people are afraid. But how do I invite people? And what do I do to share it? And you know, by the way, this is where a lot of you just completely screw up and and we make idiots out of ourselves. And you know what? I've done it a million times over 25 years myself. So there's always, here's the thing about inviting and sharing. It's the scariest part of this business at first. It reminds me when I was a little kid and I learned how to ride my bike. I had this yellow Huffy with the handlebars that went up like that, and it had what they called it a sissy bar, which I hated because I was a guy on the back, and I had a banana seat, and it was a Huffy, and my parents got it for me, and I was a wimp. I was scared to ride. I can still remember the fear of riding that bike, and I remember my father getting angry with me because I wouldn't listen to him. But you can't tell somebody how to ride a bike. You can explain the mechanism of riding the bike, but it doesn't work until you actually do the riding of the bike, right? You can't type a message to someone and teach them how to ride a bike. They have to feel balance. Once you've achieved balance, once you've finally ridden without falling down and skinning your knee, now you know how to ride that bike. And I'll tell you what, I was a maniac on that bike after I learned how to ride it. I remember specifically being a wimp and crying and being a baby about it. And I don't remember how old I was. I don't know, maybe second grade, third grade. I don't remember. But I do remember when I got good at it and I was Evel Knievel setting up ramps in my street. And I would go down the street full blast thinking that I could hit a ramp like that and I would go far. And I learned that if you hit a ramp like that, you hit the ramp and you go over the handlebars down the street. I learned all those things too. But you know what? Once you learn how to ride a bike, you never think about riding a bike again. You don't have to think about it. It's automatic. It's just something that becomes a part of who you are. And it's the same thing with invite and share. I'm not afraid to invite and share. I'm not afraid. I don't even think about it. It just happens naturally in my everyday activities. And once you it's 25 years, once you do it and it just becomes a part of what you naturally can do, then this business becomes easy. It becomes easy. So here's how you do it. I think we're all together. You can make a list, right? You probably all have figured out the list part. Now let's talk about inviting people. How do I invite people? Who do I invite? Well, here's some ways that I'm going to suggest that you do it. Number one, create curiosity. Create curiosity. Be interesting. Creating curiosity doesn't mean taking Jay Dollywall's video and posting it on your Facebook page. It doesn't mean taking an image of the super patch for sleep, the REM patch, and posting it on your Facebook page saying, this patch will help you sleep. Here's my link. That's not creating curiosity. You know what that's doing? That if it does create curiosity, you know what the curiosity is? The person looks at that and then they go Google it. They never reach out to you. They're not going to ask you. You want people to ask you, especially if you're working online. You want people to ask you, what is this all about? What is this all about? What is this all about? Now, I'm not going to make this a huge online training, like an online Facebook training, but if you make a curiosity post on Facebook, what is a curiosity post? There's a lot of ways to do it. You know what I would suggest? If you want to, go to my Facebook and look at kind of the posts that I've been putting up over the last couple of weeks. They're not always about the business. Maybe once every 5 days, I post something that's maybe a curiosity post about the business. And guess what happens when your friends see that? They're curious. And if somebody says in the comments, tell me more, I'm not going to tell them more, because if I tell them more, nobody else is going to ask, because everyone else is just going to read what I wrote to that person. So when they say, tell me more, my answer is, I sent you a private message. And then I send you a private message. My goal is just to create curiosity. If I can create curiosity, you're asking me about the business. I don't need to ask you. Okay, so that's number one, create curiosity. You know what, there's a million ways to create curiosity, and do what fits you and makes you feel comfortable. Jan Mazziotti did an amazing training. I can't remember if it was last Saturday or the Saturday before, where she said something that totally changed my business. Here's why. Because she talked about wearing her patch in public. Now, I have a lot more vanity than Jan, and I used to wear my patches, and still do because I wear a lot of them, under my shirt, like right here. I've got them right there. And I don't want people to see the patches if I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt. But guess what? Jan talked about wearing it right where people can see it. And guess what that does? Creates what? Curiosity. If people see the patch, they're going to ask you, what is that? Dun, 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 dun. There you go. You've created curiosity. So that's number one. Learn how to create curiosity and get really good at it. Next, listen to people. Listen to people. When someone is curious and asks a question, don't just spout everything you know at them. You know, I've talked about that every time I've trained, I think. That's the hardest thing not to do, is puke all over somebody. But the second you do that, you're a goner. You don't want to puke all over everybody. You want to ask questions and listen. You all heard that old saying, you have one mouth and two ears for a reason. Listen to what people have to say. People are begging you to tell them about this business in everyday conversation. They're begging you. They're talking about, you know, they lost their job or they need more money. There's an interesting idea. Well, you know what? I've got a little side thing that you might be interested in. Would you like to hear about it? Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm going through menopause. I'm getting the hot flashes. Oh, really? Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? Are you just blowing off smoke, or is that a problem you'd really like to solve? Oh, that's a problem I'd really like to solve. Well, you know what? I've got something you might be interested in. No, it's a drug-free solution. If I showed it to you, would you want to try it? Listen, just listen to people. People are telling you all the time, my back hurts. My kid can't study in school. My kid's having problems with their grades. You hear all this stuff. My kid has ADHD. They want to put him on medication. Listen, listen. Identify problems. So when you're listening, you are identifying people's problems. If you've got if I'm talking to you and you're telling me about your sore back, I've got you. I own you now, because I'm going to share this with you, and I'm going to explain how I'm going to do that. And you might not be interested right now, but you're going to be interested eventually, because I can follow up with you forever and ask how that back's doing. And I've got news for you. It's probably never going to get better. Well, as we get older, things don't go away automatically. So even if someone's not interested now, they're going to be interested later if you've identified their problems. And keep track of that, by the way. Keep track of, when you're talking to people, what their issues are, because we've got a solution. And by the way, on that note, a little sidebar, I'm not going to say I've got something that'll fix it. I'm going to say, you know what? I've got something, and it helped me with a lower back problem. And I've got a lot of friends who it's helped also. Maybe it'll help you too. It's language, right? And then offer solutions like I just did. You just told me your pain, and I listened, and I care. And I've got a solution, and I'm going to offer you a solution. And I know for a fact the number one thing you're afraid of is what other people are going to think of you when you present this to them. You're going to think of, I hate rejection. Everybody in the world hates rejection. Even the people that brag about how they don't mind rejection. Everybody hates rejection. Everybody hates rejection. But here's the thing. When you, going back to how you learn to think, like riding a bike, when it becomes natural for you, I am rejection proof. I'm not rejected in any way. You know why? Because I'm not trying to get anything from you or sell anything to you or make you do anything you don't want to do. I'm offering you a gift. I'm offering you a gift. If I offer you a gift and you say you don't want the gift, I don't feel rejected. I'm really more confused. Really? You don't want the gift? Okay. Okay. Hey, if you change your mind, I'll hang on to it. I'll put it over here. Let me know. So that's what you do. Those simple things. Pretty cool. Now, I'm going to share with you what I do. And I've talked about this in trainings before, but I'm I had the biggest February like in my time here. I didn't get super serious about building the business. I got serious for a minute in July and in August, and then September, October, November, I kind of got lame and got sidetracked and didn't do anything. And December, I was so. January, I went to Toronto and went out to the corporate event, and that lit me on fire. And I came home and said, all right, game time. So February, I had my biggest month ever, and I'll share that with you in a minute. But I want to share with you what I do. And you see this little box on here? I'm showing you an online box that I made in a PowerPoint. You don't need to get all technical and do it this way. You can get out a piece of paper and draw squares like that on a paper with a pen, right? Get a ruler, make some squares. And here's what I do. And it works like crazy for me. And it makes it fun for me. It makes it a game for me. And it holds me accountable. It does all the things you want to have happen. And by the way, I've been doing it this way in my business for 25 years. I started doing this right at the very beginning. And it helped me rise to the top. I made it to the top level in 3 different companies. Not by having things given to me, by building it generically, talking to people the way I'm talking to you right now. And this is the way I do it. So I made my goal at the beginning of February. See, it says goal 48 in February. My goal was to present this. My goal is just action-based. How many people can I talk to? Not how many customers can I get? Not how many associates can I enroll? I have no power over that. But I do have power over, I can share it with 48 people in February. I have total power over that. I can do it in one day if I want to, right? So what does that mean? I go out and I talk to John Doe. I'm going to share this with John Doe. And you know what? That little green box you saw pop up, you look on the bottom for my key. That means John Doe. I had a conversation with John Doe. I had a conversation. We talked about his back pain. Then I went and shared it with Jane Doe. Have you ever met anybody that has those names? Actually, it's funny. We always use those. I think they put them on the toe tag, right? I digress. Then I go out and share it with Tommy Bahama. I'm sharing it with people. I want to fill up these squares. I have 48 squares here. And in my whole month of February, I'm going to fill these up. You know what? Since it's Saturday, I'm going to see if I can get a whole row today. I'm going to see if I can share with this many people today. And what do I do next? I have a conversation with Tommy Bahama. It's online. He lives in the Bahamas. No, he has to be in the US. He's in Canada. No, I'm talking to Tommy Bahama in Canada. And he's telling me that he's having trouble going to sleep at night. Okay, so I put that little green box there. It tells me on my own scorecard here that I had a conversation with Tommy Bahama. Sister Sarah's coming over for lunch. And she comes over and I tell her about what's going on too, because I'm excited about it. I don't puke all over her. I just kind of create curiosity and then pull it away. Then I do a demo. Hey, Sarah, let me show you this. This is really weird, huh? Wait till you see this. I do the demo and I put a little D on my chart to remind me that I did the demo. What happens next? I go back to John Doe and you see that F? He hadn't answered me since I shared it with him. So I give him a little F for follow-up. Now I know what you're thinking. What are you saying to these people? What is your communication with these people? And I'm going to tell you. Less is more. And I have the ability, trust me, to get on the phone with anybody at any time and explain it in a way that they're probably going to at least be interested in giving it a try. I have that ability. But I know for a fact that if I do that, I'm going to sabotage those people and they're going to be destined for failure unless they're like me. What does that mean? Well, John Doe, I want to give John from the beginning, from our initial contact, I want to give him a way to do this business. I want to be training him before he even knows he's ever going to be in the business. So how can I do that? Here's how. Maybe I make a post on Facebook and John Doe says, hey, Tommy, I want to know more. And I say, okay. And in my message back to him, I just say, John, I'm no neuroscientist, but here's the founder of the technology explaining it in under a minute. And I put the little J Dhaliwal explanation and I send it. Now, what does that message say? It says, number one, I can't explain it to you. It says, number two, the founder can explain it to you in under a minute. And that does a couple of things. Number one, it makes him feel good that his idiot friend Tommy's not going to try to explain it. And, oh, this guy who knows what he's talking about is going to explain it. And it's going to be less than a minute. I think I'll watch it right now because right now I'm curious. While John Doe is watching that, I'll send a second message and I'll say, do you have a specific challenge that you'd like to address? Pain, question mark, sleep, question mark. And I send that while I know he's watching it. And now I'm done. I'm not going to send him anything else until he comes back to me. And if he does come back to me and wants more information, he probably will come back and answer my question. Yeah, I'm having trouble with pain and sleep. And if he does, I've got another message and I'm going to say, well, you know what? Here's my website link. I would suggest you try the Freedom Patch and the Liberty Patch together for the pain and stability and strength. And for the sleep, try the REM Patch. 25% off your first order at checkout, and it's a money back guarantee. Here's the link. I send it in a post. And you know what? I do that to you're laughing right now if you're in my business because I did that to you. I do that to every single person, same exact way. It's not canned, it's not rehearsed. I mean, it's authentic as heck. But when you're dealing with lots of people, you want to have a systematic way that's simple. So then what happens next? Jane Doe I follow up with. And not hearing back from her. I haven't even had a chance to share anything with her, but I just followed back because she had poked me and said, what's it all about? But she's not answering me. Now I go back to John Doe and he says, you know what, Tommy, I don't think so. And I say, okay. And I put an X over him just to remind me that that's no for now. And why is it no for now? Because John already told me his back hurts him and he has problems sleeping. And I know that. And it's still going to be that way next month when I follow back up with him again and say, hey, John, just out of curiosity, you still having that thing with the back I might be able to help you with? That's an extra follow-up for later. Or maybe I'll just blow that off and keep on going. Because guess what happened next? Tommy Bahama there, he just went online after I sent him the link and he just joined as a customer. He did exactly what I told him to do. He got the Freedom and the Liberty and the REM patch. Oh, look at that. Tommy placed an order. He's a customer. That's what we want to do, gang. Just over and over, follow up with these people, then share it with brother John, cousin Carl, Jack the dentist, Jackie the hairstylist, Mary the UPS driver. Here's what you want to do. If you're sitting there waiting for just John Doe and Jane Doe to answer you, your business is going to sound like it's garbage. You're going to hate it. You're going to have no fun at all because you're just going to be sitting there waiting for a few people. You know when this business is easy and fun? When you've got a million irons on the fire, when you've got a ton of people that you're going back and forth with, you forget. You're going to forget about that John Doe X. You're not going to care. You're not going to care if Jane Doe ever gets back to you. But you have the ability now to go back and follow up, and you've got your grid down here on the bottom. I want to show you what happened to when I put my goal up for 48 in February. Oh wait, by the way, you have all these names on here. You want to make sure you have these conversations with these people. At least get the ball rolling. Identify their pain. Create curiosity. This is what happened in February. Did I get the 48 done? Not only did I get the 48 done, I had to change the goal because it happened so fast. So I changed the goal to 100 in February. And then this is what happened for the second half of February. And oh, by the way, that's 98 right there for 2 pages. I had to go to another page. And final for February was out of 132 contacts. That created 40 customers and 6 associates in the month of February. Now it sounds overwhelming. It sounds like a lot, but it's not overwhelming. It's just doing a little something every day to start a conversation and create curiosity with people and share it with them. So that's what I want to do. Here's my March. My March goal is to have 60. Today is March, what is it, the 10th, 11th? This is what happened so far in March. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 customers. And you see there's no F's in there. I haven't followed up with any of these people yet. So you know what I'll do now? I'll go back and Aileen O'Connell, number 1 there. I'll see her and say, I'm going to follow up with her. And I'll just send her a message and say, hey, Aileen, did you get a chance to look at that website yet? Did you have any questions? And that's a follow-up. And I'll put an F in that box. Then I'll go to Jared and I'll do the same thing with everybody. And I'll follow up with everybody and restart the conversations. Then you know what I'll do? I'll go backwards. Go, oh, look at this. I go back to the beginning of February. Oh, Dana Fusco right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th one in. I haven't followed up with Dana yet. Son of a gun. I need to go back and follow up. So that's the way I keep myself accountable. And that's the way I run my business. And I do it on paper. So again, create curiosity. Listen to people. Identify their problems and offer solutions. And the more you do it, it's like riding a bike and it becomes fun. That's all. If you have fun with this business, you're going to love it and you're going to have a great time and you're going to build a successful business. You know what I'm going to do real quick here? I'm going to stop this share And in the spirit of having fun, and in the spirit of the 152 participants that are on this today that took the time on Saturday and didn't say, I'm going to wait and watch the recording later. I understand people get busy on Saturday. I miss it sometimes too. But for those of you who are here live, I'm going to give you a special bonus in the last 3 minutes. And to do it, I'm first going to stop the recording so no one else gets to see what it is. If you're watching the recording,